Welcome to Joey's Tech, a channel that brings videos for you to sharpen up your problem solving skills. In this video of Joey's dynamic programming tutorial, you are going to learn to solve the problem of longest increasing odd even subsequence using the dynamic programming approach. Let me tell you that this is a variation of the longest increasing subsequence problem, and if you know how to solve it, then you'll find it quite easy. However, if you don't, then hit the link above and watch that video to first get comfortable with LIS. Let's move ahead and check out the problem statement of this interesting TP problem. You are given an array. For this problem, we'll use the array given below, so get familiar with it first. The integers in the array are 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 5, 6 and 8. The job is to find the length of the longest subsequence from this array such that the integers are in increasing order, plus the alternating integers are odd even. You can either start the subsequence with an odd integer or an even integer. There is no compulsion. Or I can say the subsequence can start with an odd integer or an even integer. It's not mandatory. From this array, the length of the longest increasing odd even subsequence is going to come out as 5, and the subsequence will be 2, 3, 4, 5 and 8. You can see it is increasing in order and the alternating integers are odd even. We will solve this problem using the dynamic programming technique in the TP framework. But before that, press the subscribe button if you haven't pressed it already, and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I release new videos on dynamic programming. Let's switch to the framework now. Take a good look at this array, as this is the problem array. Beneath it is the solution array which we are going to fill to find out the length of the longest increasing odd even subsequence. First, I have filled this entire array with 1, which indeed represents our base state. I'll solve it using the same technique by which I solve LIS, so I have placed two variables here, I and j. Variable I will move to the right and variable j will reset to its base position for every iteration of I and will move towards I. Now we have j representing 2 and I representing 3. I will check for two conditions. Number 1, I has to be greater than j. So here 3 is greater than 2. And number 2, they should be odd even or even odd. And what is the way to check that? You can check if I is odd, then j has to be even, or vice versa. A simple if else in your program will suffice here. You can see here that 2 is even and 3 is odd. When the condition is satisfied, then I'll add 1 to this value of j. When I do so, I get 2. Now I'll compare the value 2 with the value already present in this cell, which is 1. Which is greater out of both? 2 obviously. So I populate 2 here. Now I will move I to the right to check the next subproblem. Now I represents 4. So currently j represents 2. So let's check the values of j and I if they meet our condition or not. So first, the value of I has to be greater than the value of j because we need to find a subsequence in increasing order. So 4 is greater than 2. First condition is satisfied. Now let's go for the second condition. The two integers have to be odd even or even odd. So here we see that both the integers are even. Hence the condition is not satisfied. So we get nothing out of this iteration. J moves one cell to the right. Now j represents 3. Let's check if these two integers meet our condition. So 4 is greater than 3. First condition is satisfied, and if you see 3 is odd and 4 is even. So the second component of the condition is also satisfied. So what we are going to do? We are going to add 1 to this value, okay, represented by j. The cell of the solution array represented by j. When we add 1 to this, we get 3. Now we have another candidate over here, which is 1. So between 3 and 1, which is maximum? 3 obviously. So we are going to populate 3 over here. Now I will move one cell to the right and j will get back to its base position. For this iteration of I, the value is 8, and this 8 is going to be compared with the value which we are going to get out of every iteration of j. So out of this iteration of j, we have 2. 8 is greater than 2, but 2 and 8 both are even. There are two components to our condition. One of the components is not satisfied, so we get nothing out of this iteration. J moves one cell to the right. Over here we have 3 and over here we have 8. Both the components are satisfying. You can see 3 is odd, 8 is even, and 8 is greater than 3. So what we are going to do, we will add 1 to this value of 2, we'll get 3, and we'll compare that 3 with this one over here. So which is maximum? 3 obviously. I'm going to put 3 over here. Great. Now j moves one cell to the right. Over here I have 4. 4 and 8 both are even. So even though the first component of our condition is satisfied, the second component is not satisfying. So our condition is not satisfied. Remember that our condition is composed of two components. Alright, so we get nothing out of this condition. So what happens? J moves back to its base position and I moves one cell to the right. Alright, now I represents 2. And we are going to do the same thing. We are going to compare the value represented by I with every value coming out of every iteration of j. So first the value is 2. Now these values are same, so it doesn't make sense. We have to move j to the next iteration. Alright, so we have 3 over here. 3 is less than 2. First component itself is not satisfied. Alright, so j moves one cell to the right. Remember that we are not getting anything out of these iterations. Alright, let's check the third iteration. The variable j represents 4. 4 is greater than 2. Again we don't get anything. And j moves one cell to the right. Over here j represents 8. 8 is also greater than 2. So we get nothing out of any of the iterations of j when the value of I is 2. So this value stays as 1. Alright, j moves back to its base position and I moves one cell to the right. Now I represents 5. J represents 2. You can see that both the components of the condition are satisfied. The condition itself is satisfied. 5 is greater than 2 and 2 is even, 5 is odd. So what we are going to do, we are going to add 1 to this value of j. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 will be compared with this one, and which is maximum? 2. So we place 2 over here. Now j moves one cell to the right. Why we add 1 to every value of j where a condition is satisfied? It signifies that we are getting one more integer in our subsequence. Here j represents 3. I represents 5. 5 is indeed greater than 3, but they both are odd. So we get nothing out of this iteration. J moves one cell to the right. I represents 5, j represents 4. Yes, 5 is greater than 4, and yes, 4 is even, 5 is odd. So the condition is satisfied. What we are going to do? We are going to add 1 to this 3 over here. We get the value as 4. When 4 is compared with this 2, which is greater? 4 obviously. So 2 is replaced by 4. We are going good. J moves one cell here. The value is 5. That means represented by I. And j represents 8. 8 is greater than 5. So it doesn't make sense because the first component of the condition is defined. Now j moves one cell to the right. J represents 2, I represents 5. The condition is satisfied. You can see 2 is even, 5 is odd. 5 is greater than 2. So what we'll do, 1 plus 1 is going to give us 2. But 2 will be compared with an already bigger value, which is 4. So 2 won't be able to replace 4 because 4 is greater. Alright. Now j moves back to its base position and I moves one cell to the right. I represents 6 and j represents 2. Now over here 2 and 6 are not satisfying the condition because both are even. So J moves one cell to the right. We have 3 and 6. Yes, they both satisfy the condition. 6 is greater than 3. 3 is odd, 6 is even. So what will happen? 1 plus 2, 1 will be added to this 2, which is going to yield 3. 3 will be compared with this one. 3 is greater, so 1 will be replaced by 3. Now J moves one cell to the right. Here we have 4. In here we have 6. Both are even. So the condition is negated, refused, defied. Now J represents 8. 6 is not greater than 8. 6 is less than 8. So the condition itself is negated. The first component itself is not satisfied. So J moves one cell to the right. Here we have 2. Here we have 6. Both are even. So the condition again is not satisfied. Now J moves one cell to the right. Over here we have 5. J represents 5. I represents 6. 6 is greater than 5. First component is satisfied. That means 5 here is odd. 6 here is even. Second component also satisfied. So what we are going to do in this case, 1 will be added to 4, which will yield 5. Alright, and 5 will be compared to the value already existing at this cell, which is 3, which is greater between 5 and 3. 5 obviously, so 5 will replace 3 here. Now J goes back to its base position and I moves one cell to the right. I represents 8, J represents 2. So we can see that this iteration of J is not going to yield any result because both the integers are even. J moves one cell to the right. You can see that 8 is greater than 3 and 3 is odd, 8 is even. So what will happen? 1 will be added to this 2. So I'll get 3. 3 will be compared with this one. 3 is greater. So I'm going to place 3 over here. Okay, now J moves one cell to the right. J represents 4, I represents 8, both are even, condition not satisfied, nothing comes out of this iteration, failed iteration. J moves one cell to the right. Here we have 8, here also we have 8. I and J are both representing the same number. So nothing is going to come out of this iteration. J moves one cell to the right. J represents 2, I represents 8, both are even, so nothing comes out of this iteration as well. Over here, when J moves to the right, J represents 5, I represents 8. 8 is greater than 5, 5 is odd, 8 is even, so here the condition is satisfied. Both the components are satisfied. So 1 will be added to this 4, which will yield 5. 5 will be compared with this 3, which is greater, 5 obviously, so 3 is replaced by 5. Now J moves one cell to the right and J represents 6 and I represents 8. So both are even, hence the second component of the condition is not satisfied, so nothing comes out of this iteration as well. So now all the iterations are over. What we are going to do, we are going to traverse through this array to find out the maximum value, which we can see with our bare eyes is 5. So 5 is the length of the longest alternating odd even subsequence. We have found it out, and this is the same number which we saw in the slide earlier. Now let's take a look at its algorithm. This is the algorithm. There are two loops. One is for I, another one is for J. So it first checks whether the value represented by I is even or odd. If it is even, then it checks whether the value represented by J is odd or not. When it is, then it further checks whether the value represented by I is greater than the value represented by J. If so, then the value in the cell represented by I in the solution array is populated as the maximum of the value which already exists there, and plus 1 to the value in the cell of the solution array represented by j. If the value represented by I is odd, then it checks whether the value represented by j is even or not. If so, then it again checks if the value represented by I is greater than the value represented by j in the problem array, and if so, then the expression to populate the value in the solution array is the same. Note the difference in the arrays over here. PB represents the problem array and SLN represents the solution array. So it checks the even odd condition and the greater than condition for the values in the problem array. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any doubts related to this video, you are welcome to put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll reply. I look so much forward to help you with programming and algorithms. And only for this video, goodbye and take very good care of yourself.